really dislike Jake Paul. Now, I don't dislike him. I understand him. I want to make something clear. I would still kick the living fuck out of Jake.
Andrew Tate just destroyed Jake Paul on live TV in the most brutal and embarrassing way imaginable, honestly. Are we even surprised at this point? Jake has a knack for sinking below even the lowest expectations. First, he backed out of Tate's $3 million fight challenge like a scared pup, then tried to save face by dragging a legendary, it clearly past his prime Mike Tyson into a cringeworthy, scripted spectacle. Jake knew exactly what he was doing, chasing clout and cash, not respect.
Because he's allowed himself to become the biggest clown on the internet, and now he's famous, right? Because he's an idiot, but he has a bunch of money, so he gets to...
Now Jake is playing his next card, trying to provoke Andrew Tate into a fight he knows he'll never actually follow through with. Why? Because Jake is well aware he'd lose. He's relying on Tate rejecting the offer so he can twist the story, manipulate the narrative, and boost his own ego. But Andrew Tate isn't taking the bait. Instead, he fired back on live television, tearing into Jake and exposing every layer of his fake persona for the world to see.
You only want to lose to them so you can say, well, I lost to Conor McGregor. Why don't you lose to an old man who's retired? I live in the real f***ing world, Jake. There's a whole bunch of fighters out here who live in the real f***ing world. Men who are dangerous and dedicated.
But Andrew Tate's response turned the tables entirely. Instead of rejecting the fight, he called Jake's bluff and accepted the challenge. And Jake's reaction? He disappeared without a word, completely ghosted.
but I would whoop his ass. But he wouldn't take a fight against me, because when he loses... I'm not nearly on his level of fame, right? So like he lost to who? Whereas if he loses to Conor McGregor, it's no big deal. Well, he lost to Conor McGregor, who cares, right? That's what it's about.
The entire trick hinged on Tate refusing, giving Jake the chance to spin a story about being the fearless warrior no one dares to face. But now that Andrew has stepped up and accepted the challenge, Jake is in full panic mode. He never saw this coming, and now he's backed into a corner with no way out. The so-called fearless Jake Paul has gone completely silent, proving once again that he's all talk and no action. He's not dealing with some retired UFC fighter this time. He's facing someone who won't play by his script.
I'm not some washed-up UFC fighter. I'm not smaller than him. I would beat the living shit out of him, and if he wants to fight, I'll fight him any day of the week, and I'll fucking wreck him, and he knows.
Tate didn't just challenge Jake to a fight, he hit him with a reality check so harsh it could have come with a medical warning. He outright called Jake's career a joke and accused him of turning boxing into a TikTok-friendly circus. It's hard to disagree when Jake's idea of a worthy opponent includes a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. And speaking of Tyson, let's address how Jake dragged this legendary figure into his spectacle. Mike Tyson, the man, the myth, the heavyweight icon, was reduced to a promotional gimmick just so Jake could play the role of a tough guy. As Tate bluntly put it, that wasn't boxing. It was elder abuse. Jake didn't view Tyson as a respected pioneer of the sport. He saw him as a shortcut away to steal headlines without facing real risk. And the saddest part, he actually thought no one would call him out for it.
However, I do understand what he's doing. I understand that he is very, very smart, even with his marketing angle. I'm just a YouTuber. You're not just a YouTuber. You're a full-grown man with the best coaches in the world who's dedicated his life to learning how to box for years. You know how to box. You're not a complete amateur. You know how to box very well. 3, 4, 5 years of training combat sports. You can box. The guy's not a jackass.
Jake's so-called masterpiece, his fight record, is more comedy than combat. It's like expecting fireworks and getting a handful of sparklers. He's built his career fighting retired MMA fighters who weren't even known for striking. Ben Askren, a wrestler with the reflexes of a sloth, Tyron Woodley, far past his prime, and Nate Robinson, a basketball player who looked like he'd never thrown a punch in his life. Jake's entire resume is a carefully curated reel of low-risk, high-reward matchups meant to trick casual fans into believing he's a rising force in boxing. Andrew Tate ripped that illusion apart without breaking a sweat. Jake, he said, if you spend half as much time training as you do cherry-picking opponents, maybe you'd actually earn some real respect.
He is not just a YouTuber. He is a young man training with Canelo and Ryan Garcia.
When I made the video, I really disliked Jake Paul. Now, I don't dislike him, I understand.
And then there was the $3 million challenge, no gimmicks, no scripted drama, just a real, no excuses offer. Winner takes all. Tate wasn't in it for the money. He wanted to expose Jake for exactly what he is, and Jake's response, he didn't just walk away, he ran, because the truth is, Jake Paul thrives in carefully controlled environments. His fights are designed to protect his image, to maintain the illusion of danger while keeping the outcome safe and predictable. He's mastered the art of looking bold while playing it safe. But a real fight with Andrew Tate, that's not part of the plan. That's a risk he can't take because it could unravel everything he's built.
$3 million. You put 3, I put 3. Winner takes all. You know my name, Andrew Tate. I will fight you any day, anytime. Let's fucking go. If I were to fight Jake Paul, I would take it completely seriously like a real fight, and I'd whoop his ass. I'd beat him. Jake. Everyone thinks he's just so beautiful.
Jake's rejection of Tate's challenge isn't just a strategic dodge, it's a confession. A confession that all the bravado and trash talk is just that, talk. The guy who loves calling himself a disruptor and a game changer suddenly becomes radio silent when faced with an actual threat. And let's not forget his loss to Tommy Fury.
2 brothers, 1 cage. Jake Logan, you Tristan. Who comes out alive?
You know what? I'm trying so hard to not start internet beefs. I'm really trying not to.
You could say Jake and Logan, man.
Bro,
Don't worry about it.
No, I can't lie. Bro, I'm going through life. I'm trying to live peaceful now. I've got Fed agents in my house. Matrix is out.